This video is for anyone who's wondering if the National Guard is worth it. I've been in the Guard for a year and a half at this point. I joined in February of 2023. I went to Met. I shipped out in May of 2023, 4 days after my high school graduation. I was 17 years old. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I did 2 months of basic training at Echo's 360th. Once I graduated basic, I went to Fort Leonard Wood and spent 2 months, the 84th Chemical Brigade, and got my certificate, which is what this is. I don't know if you can see. That's Private, my name, Bravo 84th. I wanted to make this video because I felt compelled to just give advice to anybody who was thinking about going into the National Guard, because for me, at first I was very skeptical if I would even make it through training, and sitting here now, obviously I did. This is just for anybody who was kind of skeptical, who kind of wants to know what to expect, or if it's even worth the commitment. So I hope that you could find this video informative. Maybe I could convince you one way or the other if this isn't for you, if this is. So let's get into the pros. First pro about being in the National Guard is obviously the benefits. I'm a college student. I'm actually going into my second semester of my freshman year. And the reason why I joined the National Guard in the first place was to pay for my college. The National Guard takes care of your tuition. I think it's 36 months of full-time schooling, 8 semesters. That's right around 36 months. And then if you qualify, you can get the Montgomery Bill on top of that, which pays out a stipend each month. And that covers my rent. Now, I live in an apartment off campus. I got the military exemption from my school. I think my school requires 2 years of on-campus living before you can live off campus. But I have not stepped foot in a dorm. I will not step foot in a dorm, and I much prefer this apartment. I get almost $900 a month, and just in my pocket for free money. I use that money to pay for my rent. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, 5 miles from campus. I pay $475 a month, but I just use my Montgomery Bill money to pay for that, and it's basically free. I earn money by going to college. Again, free money, just I'm being paid to go to college. I'm earning money. I don't have a job. The ROTC is my job. Becoming a cadet and learning how to be an officer is my job. I get paid monthly. That's a great benefit, and for me, that sealed the deal. But if you need more convincing, we can go on to the next one. So pay, as I'm an E3, so since I've been in for a year, you have annual training, and if you go on annual training, you earn active pay. I just got out of it, and the total amount was somewhere around $1,500 for 2 weeks. And for me, I've been through basic was awful. I mean, not awful. I'll probably make a separate video about my experiences in training, but basic, these 2 weeks, easy. It was a breeze, and I got paid $1,500 just for doing it. Every month for drill, I make $300, and it's 2 days. And you'll get paid more if you're there more days. So if you have a 3-day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get paid per day. For me, that was kind of a no-brainer. I get paid for just being there. Having that community inside of my college already, people who have had the same experiences as me, it's very comforting to know that there are people there who have done the same things as me, been through the same things, and it's just a family. Ooh, I'm gonna go make another cup of coffee. Coffee secured. So the community. I have friends in the National Guard who I went to basic training with and who I went to AT with, and I'm still communicating with them today. Just the people you meet at training, you would never have met them in your life if you had not taken this opportunity. And I think that's really special. Like the bonds that you form with people when you're under such stress and just trying to deal with everything at once, it's really special, and you'll never find that connection anywhere else. Fitness. Let's talk fitness. So in basic training, you do PT every morning, 6 days a week. I am in the best shape of my life. In high school, I was really self-conscious about like not having the motivation to get up and work out every morning. Like I did not have the motivation to get up every morning and work out and then go to school and then get home and do homework and then sleep. So when I got into basic training, it was really a breath of fresh air to have that as a part of my routine where I didn't really have to think about, am I going to do this? Am I not? I just got up and I did the PT. And my fitness skyrocketed. Like I did nothing before I went to basic, but when I was in the middle of it, week 5, week 7, I was getting 7-minute miles. I was running 7-minute miles. When before that, I had to stop and catch my breath running a mile. But I was running 7-minute miles. My best time on the ACFT for the two mile was a 15:10. No, it was a 15:03. It was a 15:03. And that was unheard of to me. Like, that gave me so much confidence in myself, in my body. Like, I can just do things I never thought I'd be able to. And that was really a game changer for me. Just having PT as a part of my routine every morning. And now that I'm in ROTC, again, we do PT 3 days a week. I wish it was more, honestly, because my PT would be even better. But I am in the best shape of my life, and I would have never reached this state if it wasn't for the military. Basic training was a freaking adventure. Like, I would have never had these experiences, never shot an M4. I love shooting M4s now. Like, before, I liked the idea of shooting guns. I'm an American. Like, before basic training, I would have never, like, physically gone out to a range and shot a gun. But in basic training and AIT, it's like a mandatory part. And I thought that was super cool. Like, I was out on the range, getting these experiences I never would have got. Recruiters will try and sell you this. They will milk this for everything it's worth. The adventure that you get in the National Guard is something that they'll try and sell you on it. They will. And don't let them get too focused on this aspect, because yes, there's a sense of adventure, but if you're not in the right headspace to enjoy the adventure, like if you're not there for the adventure, you have to get into this mindset of, I'm here, so I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. You have to have that mindset to fully experience the adventure that the National Guard is. If you do not have the right mindset, you're not going to enjoy it as much as somebody else would, who's purely there for the adventure. So even though I joined for free college, that's the main reason I joined, to not have student debt. If you're not there for the adventure, or you don't eventually learn to accept it, like the pain and the like bullcrap that comes with training in the National Guard, no matter how much you've heard about the adventure, you will not enjoy it. Keep that in mind. Now, deployment. I am in a pretty small unit. I am in a unit that is a detachment of a bigger unit in Virginia, and it's an infantry unit. I'm in this detachment, and it's really small, so I will probably not face deployment just because I'm in such a small unit, not even because of the fact that I'm going to contract and become an officer. I will probably not face deployment, but that was a big scary part of like impending future. Oh no, am I gonna deploy? Am I not? Like, oh, war, like that was a scary part, and I thought it was like terrifying. But now I feel like I would be okay with it because I know what I'm doing. Like, don't be scared of deploying. Like, I have friends overseas right now. Don't be scared of deploying. Don't be scared of war. Obviously, if you're joining the National Guard, you know that National Guardsmen get sent out first, even before active duty and reserve. We're the front linesmen. So keep that in mind. Like, you might deploy like first thing out of training. I know several people who did. Especially if you're not going active. Like, this is specifically for National Guard people. I would say equip yourself with the imminent reality that you will be going overseas at some point during your contract. That could be a con. That could be a reason that you wouldn't want to join. But I think deployment, there are so many benefits to deployment. Like, if you're scared to leave the US, try and think of it as an adventure, like free travel. Like, just try and make it the best thing that you can, even if you're scared to do it. And I think you'll be glad that you did. I was talking about a little bit about how I am a CBRN specialist. If you choose a niche MOS, like I did, you will not be doing your job. I am in a unit that is primarily distro, maintenance, and one other thing. Primarily distro and maintenance. I'm a CBRN specialist. I'm not doing my job. I'm doing supply. I am a supply private, basically. It's pretty sad. I love my MOS. Don't love supply so much, but I was equipped for this reality when I went into training. So if you choose a niche MOS, just be fully cognizant of what you're going into. The free job training, pretty cool. I know a lot about chemicals now. And finally, with the pros, the National Guard is just a chance to do something with your life. When I was in high school, I wanted to study at Oxford University, and I wanted to become a best-selling author. That is still my dream, but the National Guard is a tool to help me get there. I want to become a published author one day. But quickly, I realized that simply having a dream without a plan to get there is really foolish. Like, I had all these dreams of going to Oxford, studying, just being in the atmosphere. And if when you have all vibes, no plot, it doesn't really work out the way that you want it to. The National Guard is just a tool to help you get where you want to be in life, definitely. You can make a career out of it. I'm going to make a career out of it now. I'm going to become a lieutenant, and I'm going to be in charge of soldiers one day. But it's not my main goal in life. It is now one of my goals in life, if that makes sense. It's just a chance to make something great out of the tools that you've been given. Now for the cons of joining the National Guard. One big con is the time commitment. Now, this is kind of it's a big time commitment, and you're going to be spending a lot of time with your unit in training. I was in training. It's considered a short training period. So across the board, basic training is 10 weeks. You're going to spend 10 weeks in basic training. And after that, it depends on which job you choose. I spent another 10 weeks in Fort Leonard Wood becoming a CBRN specialist. I know people who have done 4 weeks, 6 weeks in AIT. I know people who were in AT for 6 months to a year. Please, before you choose your MOS, ask your recruiter, how many weeks is this? And be prepared to spend 6 months. If you choose the job that you really want, be prepared to spend weeks and weeks in AIT. It's just a big upfront time commitment. If you're coming out of high school, trying to go to college in the fall, it's probably not going to happen. I started my freshman year in January. I basically lost a semester that I could have put towards college, but I was in AIT. I graduated in October, so there was no way around that unless I did split training. Just be cognizant, make the timeline, just do the research, because I didn't, and it was a big surprise for me that I had to spend 20 weeks in other states, and when I thought I was going to be able to go to college on time. It's not for the faint of heart. So I kind of don't remember what my recruiter told me about this. Recruiters, they will not discourage signing up. I know recruiters, mine was great, but I've known recruiters to sign people up who definitely were not in the mental space, did not have the quote-unquote courage to complete basic training in AIT, like the military is not for the faint of heart. And I was fortunate to grow up in an environment that equipped me for the reality of dealing with drill sergeants, of dealing with the bull crap that comes with training. There's mean drill sergeants, you're going to get smoked, you're going to be out in the heat if you decide to go in summer. I was in South Carolina for 2 months in the middle of summer. So if you do not have the mental fortitude, like obviously your mental fortitude will improve over time. But if you do not have the resolve to say, I will grow and I will become better over the course of the training, you will not survive. I knew people who completely crumbled by the end, and they should have been kicked out, but the Army's hurting on numbers. They didn't want to kick out just anybody for behavioral problems. If you have a problem with authority, if you have a problem with just being tough, I know a lot of people who would complain and then it just caused a problem for the whole company. If you have any problems with that, and if you cannot just deal with it and shut up, then sorry, just don't join. It's really hard work. And this could be seen as a con or a pro. I put it in the cons because I know some people are afraid of a little hard work. I was that person. Once upon a time. I did not want to give anything my all because what if I fail? What if this isn't worth it? But it eventually transformed into a pro for me. I like putting my entire self into something. And the National Guard was that. I put everything I had into making it through those 20 weeks of training. And it was super rewarding when I came out of it on the other side. But if you're not equipped to deal with the hard work, don't join. It's as simple as that. That's all I have. If I think of more things, I will make a part 2. If it receives negative, positive attention, I will make a part 2 if I think of more pros or cons. But for now, this is my 2 cents on joining the National Guard, and hopefully this was informational. Hopefully you've made a decision on whether you want to join, or hopefully this just made an impact in your decision. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.